going on? Peace! It's your boy Curtin here for another great episode of the D.B.A.B. Podcast with your boy Cletus. It is just us two up in the building today. Everybody else is out busy doing their own things, hanging out with their better halves with better company. But Cletus and I are going to do the best of our ability to talk some more football with y'all, bring that juice here for the D.B.A.B. Podcast. So, Cletus, what is up, my man?
What's up, bro? How is everything going? How's your week? Everything good?
Everything
Down
is
in Greyhound Land?
Everything is great in Greyhound Land. We are on bye week, so we are trying to, like they say, um, sharpen that iron, if you will, getting stuff ready to roll into next week as we got a really, 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 really big opponent for next week. But everything's all good here. How are things over there in the land of the Eagles?
Everything in the Velt's going good, man. We're still rolling. We got one more. We're one more week till bye week,
Oh,
and we've been talking in the office trying to figure out what the best thing to do for our bye week is
I
because
got you.
there's a lot of different options to do for the bye week, and
Yes.
not all of them are good options. Some of them are needed. Some of them are like we got to keep going, keep rolling, keep practicing, keep the routine.
Right.
You know, you know how kids are when they get out of routine. They just it's usually not great. The good teams handle the bye week just like another week.
Yes. Absolutely, absolutely. So obviously, like you said, 1 week for you, we're on our bye week. But remember, before we start to dive a little bit more into that, you can always find the DBAB podcast anywhere podcast can be found. That could be uh, Apple, Spotify, all the above. We're also on YouTube and we are on Twitter. So go hit us up. Go like, excuse me, on X. Right? Keep saying that. It's just a
Yes.
habit, right? It's just a habit.
It Everyone says Twitter and everyone knows it. If you type Twitter into your phone, it comes up X.
Yeah, everybody knows. It might take me a long ass time to realize that it's X and no longer Twitter. So thank you, Elon, for doing that switcheroo. But remember, we can be found there. So go add us, like us, subscribe to us, repost us, whatever the case may be. Remember, this is the DBAB podcast. Yo, what's going on, people? It's the DBAB podcast with your boy Cletus and Curtin. Just like we were talking about beforehand, the bye week, the Pizza Greyhounds are on our bye week. Um, and before we'll talk a little bit about how those Eagles were victorious last week and all that good stuff with some of the other scores around the state. Speaking about bye week, I've always had sometimes it's a good thing when the bye week comes up, like the weekend before the bye week, because you usually get that time off as a coaching staff to relax, recharge the batteries, all that good stuff. Especially here because heading into our bye week, the weekend before it, we played at Wall, which was over a 3.5 hour bus trip there and back. So by the time I got home, it was 3 o'clock in the morning on Saturday.
And let me
It
guess, you
totally
woke up
messed
like at
me up.
5, huh?
Well,
You,
Saturday
you,
was crazy. So Saturday went to bed and got home at 3, so I was in bed by, whatever, 3:30, maybe a little before. And then of course, 6 hours later, the body's on the clock. Also the dog is on the clock. You know what I mean? So Scooby's in there
there's
howling and crying, waking up at 9:30 to go let him out and then go back in my room and check my phone for stuff. And the next thing I'm up for the rest of the day. So kind of off my rocker a little bit time wise.
understand, dude. Me and Jack did that our first year at DC. We went to freaking Perryton from Denver City, which is about a 6 hour drive.
There or total.
No, there, just one way,
I forgot
six
because
hours.
Perryton's all the way up there in the Panhandle.
Yeah, yes. And so it was there coming back. Like I woke up. I usually wake up like game days like
Yeah.
5:30. We rolled into DC like at 5.
Y'all
So
charter it?
nope. Well, they DC supplied one bus or two bus drivers.
Uh-huh.
So those bus drivers drove one bus. Me and our middle school coordinator drove the second bus.
Yellow
And
Dogs?
Chargers, thankfully.
Okay, okay, that's
But but we it was I was so tired.
I can
Like
imagine.
and we had to break down film and work
Mm,
going into next week, and it was about 10:30, 11, and Coach Fontenot finally just said, "Y'all go home,"
that
because we are getting nothing done.
yeah,
He
absolutely.
just said, "Break down film at home,
Yeah, it's like
make
when you
sure everything."
get to the point where your brain turns to mush and like literally
Yes,
just sit there staring at
like,
hours, and
and
it's like you can
everyone's like
watch film
falling,
and nothing retained.
everyone's falling asleep during film, trying to stay up, and Coach Fontenot just said, "Okay, guys, y'all go home."
Yeah, that's
Because
rough.
we're not getting anything done
Yeah,
accomplished with everyone asleep. So
yeah,
y'all go home. Make sure you just watch film on your own. You know, text me if you need me. Let Doug and him and Tony know what's going on, and we'll go from there.
yeah. Like I said, obviously that's a 6 hour trip there and back. That's gotta be rough, and especially for me, like I whether it's a plane or a bus, like it's hard for me to find a position to go to sleep. You know what I mean? So usually I stay up most of the time
Mm-hmm.
while doing it. So on the way back, maybe I would say maybe if I'm lucky, 60 minutes of a nap, if you will. So anyway,
It's
so
better than nothing sometimes.
yeah, absolutely. So anyway, we went into that, and now we're on our bye week, and sometimes obviously bye weeks can sometimes come at a good point for your program in terms of getting kids healthy and giving them some downtime to rest and relax and recharge. But at the same time, too, like I don't like bye weeks for the fact that there's nothing at the end of the week for you to
You you
get
get out of
excited about.
routine.
Yeah, you get out of routine. Um, there's nothing, like I said, there's nothing for you at the end of the week to prepare for. You got to wait basically 2 weeks to play again. But there are obviously reasons to why, and there are good reasons to get kids healthy, get them relaxed. You try to keep it as normal as possible to keep that routine going, which I feel we've done a really good job at doing. But the good thing for the bye week is that I get to go see my boy Jack play for the first time in those Tigers as they take on
The
uh,
Redbirds.
the Redbirds there,
The
Melissa. So
Redbirds.
super excited to go check out all those top notch facilities that the Redbirds have, but also get to see my boy do his thing for the Tigers. So I'm super excited about that. Um, but and then of course here as the Hounds, we are preparing for our own state caliber team with the Brock Eagles next week. So it should be pretty good. But Cletus, last week the Roosevelt Eagles, right,
Mm-hmm.
are were victorious against Slayton, correct?
Mm-hmm.
The
Yep.
Tigers of Slayton. So
Yes, sir.
tell us a little bit about.
Uh, got Coach Robinson, our head coach. He also calls our defense. He was his first shutout as DC.
Mm,
So
let's go.
we
Shout out Coach Robinson on that.
yeah we beat Slayton 30-0. Still did not play a complete game. We got up on them 14-0. Boom boom, score. About halfway through the first quarter, our quarterback is running. He steps out. He comes out of bounds. Slayton kid launches at him, and our kids, go to the defense of him. But because of that, we felt like we got unfocused. We started doing things, stupid stuff. Started
Right,
mouthing, pushing, shoving, doing some other stuff, extracurriculars
right.
after the whistle. Just our RAD, always calls it. We kind of stoop to their level.
Hmm.
We started doing what they do, not
Right.
what we do, and so it was 14. No, I'm sorry. It was 16-0.
Hmm.
It was 16-0 going into halftime,
I got you.
and we beat them 30. We beat them 30-0. So again, we only scored 4 times. But they're brand new offense. They run the slot eye.
Hmm.
And, if you've ever been around Littlefield, America, back in the day, that's what they used to run. So that guy comes from that kind of tree. So I respect what he does. They really didn't adjust that well. But his thing is, I think we're not very good at what we do. So we're just going to get really good at what we do. Even
Right.
if we're getting our ass kicked, we're still going to do what we do and get better at it. which I respect the heck out of.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
know, you lose the battle to win the war sometimes, and he's
Yeah,
trying to win the war over there in Slayton. And so it was good. Like I said, kids. Once we kind of woke up and got refocused, we played well. We executed. We did some stuff. We did some really good stuff, and we did some really stupid stuff. And the ROC said it best at on Saturday is we have yet to play a complete game, and we're 3-1.
yeah, which is it's a good thing for y'all. It's kind of a
Right. All right. We have yet to play a perfect complete game,
yeah,
and so got a great opportunity against Sundown. They got that what's the good thing about playing teams like Sundown, is they got that tradition that
right,
all those kids know is how to win and how to be tough.
right,
And so those games are going to be really good for you because they're not gonna lay down like a Slayton, like a Brownfield.
right,
They're not going to lay down and just take it. We're gonna punch them, or they're gonna punch us back.
right.
And so it's a whole Mike Tyson quote, and it's one of my favorite quotes from Tyson. Everybody has a game plan for a fight until they get hit.
Right. Absolutely.
And so
That's my favorite quote too. One of my
so
favorite quotes
it's
too.
it's the whole, how are we going to respond when someone hits us back? Because again, Holly, we hit them, they hit us back.
Right.
And so how are we going to respond this week when someone finally decides, okay, we're not gonna let you just keep hitting us. We're gonna punch back and see what happens.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And so it's gonna be a good challenge. Kids had a really good week of practice again. We got some really good senior leadership, which obviously really helps.
Yeah.
And so we're we're rolling right now. We're doing some good stuff, and we got one more week. Goals to be 4-1 at the end of this thing, and get ready, get healed up, and get ready and get prepped for a bye week, and then district.
Yep. That's where the real money's made, right? Where
Yep.
the games actually count when district comes.
Yeah. We'll
Because
open up with.
you can
Oh,
literally
sorry.
start a season. No, you can start a season 0-4, run through district, and win a state
Mm-hmm.
championship or come close. Seen that happen.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah. We open with Stanton right out of the gate. So we'll play on Thursday because the Permian Basin chapter didn't have enough officials, which official shortage is
right.
the struggle's real sometimes. I know
Yeah.
y'all had to do that week one.
Yeah. Week one. Yeah.
And so, we're running that same thing right now. So we'll play on Thursday. We're off the bye week, and our JV's gonna play on Tuesday off the bye week. And so our head coach wasn't too thrilled about it, but we were talking about it. He goes, Coach, we're off a bye week, so it's not like we're not gonna practice.
Right.
We've not practiced to prep for Stanton. So
Right.
we'll be fine. We'll just, it's less time to prep for the flex bone, which is a son of a gun to try to defend.
Yeah, and I'm first off, shout out to all the officials in the state of Texas and the nation. Like
Yes.
I know for the most part, there's a lot of times where they don't do themselves justice. There's a rhyme and a reason as to why people are always on their case, but it is also one of the hardest professions in the world to ever do because no matter what you do,
Someone's
50
mad at you.
50% of the crowd is there is going to be upset at the decision you make for the most
And
part.
guess
So
and guess what? Can't play a game without him.
can't play a game without them. They do a great job of what now.
Mm-hmm.
Kids, they do a great job. They do a great job of showing up outside of their normal
Yep.
careers. It's not like they are. A lot of high school officials are not their solo careers, not just being a high school official. Now there's some that do football and basketball and all that stuff, which is great. But most of these young men and women, or just men and women in general, have normal daily jobs that they then decide to come out and be officials and take all of it. But I feel like it's a type of job too that you gotta have thick skin. But again, appreciate what all they do. I know they go through the ringer a lot of times, and sometimes it's uncalled for in terms of the treatment they get. And obviously, we have to do a better job of understanding the job they're in, and they're not going to be perfect. They're going to make calls. They're going to miss calls, and but not. And then one of the greatest things too is like it might have been I forgot. It might have been Coach Strunk. Might have been Jackson. Like, don't let the officials decide the game for you. You know, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Which sometimes it
Yep.
comes down to it and it happens, but um, never allow the game to be in the hands of the officials. You know what I mean? Because that's just
Right.
nobody wins in that kind of scenario. All that kind of stuff. But again, shout out to officials. Um, they do a great job, whether we think
Mm-hmm.
so or not. Like you said, Cletus, without them, we can't
Can't
play.
play. Can't play a
Can't play the
game.
game. Can't play the game. So shout out to them if they hear this or not. Shout them out, whatnot, and then go
Yep.
back to your Thursday game stuff. Like,
Don't treat those guys like shit.
yeah, absolutely. Don't treat them like
So
crap. Like they're human beings just like you and I and everybody else. Nobody is perfect. So if I had to go out and be an official, are there gonna be times where I fuck up and miss a call or whatever, or make the wrong call? Absolutely. You know, you try coming out there being official and seeing some of this stuff live in action. Sometimes,
I
I can see where they miss stuff, whatever. You know what I mean? But
I think I've really only ripped an official last year. One time in my whole career on Thursday nights. I think I've just ripped an official last year.
I think every once in a while, I think as a coach in football, and the longer you get into it, there's gonna be a time where it just you have to rip them because it's just so blatantly obvious that they're
Yes.
terrible at their job that night.
Agreed.
Now, there's been times I've yelled at officials for little stuff, holding, false start, da 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 da. Da. But I've always been able to keep calm enough to the point to where I'm not going to go off the handles because of their calls, especially on
I
Thursday night.
I always talk to them like this. I always say, "Hey,
Yeah,
what's your name?" And they tell me your name, Bob. All right, Bob, how you doing, man? And every time I talk to that guy, "Hey, Bob, dude, Bob, you're killing me right now."
yeah,
Hey, Bob, he's false for Bob. I
yeah,
just and that's something I learned from one of my old coaches because he would just rip an official on the
yeah,
sideline. And I finally asked him, says, Coach, what's your secret? You could he goes, you know what the secret is? Call them by their name. Call an official by their name. Don't say, hey, you, hey, Jack, what? No. Say, hey, Bob, what's going on? What are we seeing here, Bob? Call them by their name.
yeah,
And,
yeah. That
and
definitely helps when you kind of have that pregame
hey, what's your
communication with
name?
them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey, where were y'all at last week? Oh
yeah,
yeah. How was that game?
yeah,
Just talk to them.
yeah. Make it be more of a human interaction instead of just
You
anything
know,
else. But
I think
yeah,
the
it
only
is.
other,
It is what it is. But
yeah.
again, shout out to those guys. But
Oh
going back
yeah.
to the Thursday game, like, I'm not really a big proponent against Thursday games. Like, I'm not saying like, hey, every game has to be Thursday, but with the officials shortage and stuff, like if it allows you to get better crews on a Thursday compared to what you can
Yes.
probably get on Friday, then no doubt let's take the Thursday game. And then two, when you think about it, like you play Thursday, not a lot of people play Thursday. Then you get to enjoy Friday,
Or you can
and
go
all that
scout
stuff,
Friday.
or you can go scout. And then two, if you're really productive as a staff, you can possibly get all your weekend work done Friday and maybe Saturday. So then you get to enjoy, Sunday off. Now, of course, staffs are different throughout the state. There's some staffs that they don't work on the weekends. They do
We
everything at home, or
we don't
they
we
work
don't work on
only,
we don't
yeah,
work on Sundays.
or they don't work on Saturdays, or you don't work on Sundays. There's some staffs that work every day. You know what I mean? Like it's just different in terms of
Get a
how they
grind. Get a grind.
get up there at 8 after getting home at 2. That's one thing. Like I've always thought about just being an assistant going through it. Like, and if I ever make my way up to be in the hot seat, like I understand Saturdays, but I always thought it'd be more of like, hey, Saturdays, let's go. Like, especially if we got home late, be like, all right, let's sleep in, let's show up 10 o'clock. You know what I mean?
See,
Like, do
that's
something and allow them to recover, be more productive Saturday, and then maybe Sunday, whatever. Or you know what I mean? Like, or just go do
yeah.
everything at home.
Fotno was really good about that, and Jared was like, if we got home super late, we would usually get start work at like 8.
Yeah,
Fotno would say, okay, hey, 9:30. He would give us about an hour and a half, almost 2 hours to
yeah,
extra to sleep or recover a little bit, which was good. And I've worked on with some guys who, we're going. We're and we get home late. Doesn't matter. We're freaking at the field house about 8 a.m.
Yeah, and
Let's roll.
yeah, for the most part, like here in previous jobs, Sealy, like we would have show up at 8, and then usually our cutoff time would be 2. And then Sundays was more of a hey, go to church, do what you need to do. Offense show up at this time, defense show up at this time. It's usually noonish or at 1 o'clock or
Mm,
2, which is not bad. But
so
it'll be
yeah,
interesting to see, like, if I ever get to that role, like, what I decide to do. Like, if I'm going to be more of like, hey, go home, enjoy the weekends with your fam, do the stuff on your own. We'll come back together. But
I've I've only worked one place where we worked on Sundays. That's my first job
yeah,
with Coach Cummings. And so it was just, it was his first year. I'm sure he does stuff different, but it was his first couple years, so he just, it's kind of what Coach Robinson always said. You know what you know,
yeah,
and so if you that's what you do, that's what you do.
right,
You know, but DC never worked on Sunday. I say that never worked on Sundays. DM game plan. We cut wristbands on Sundays. The offensive staff,
yeah,
which was always a joy.
right,
In Greenwood we didn't work on Sundays, and you know here Ozona we didn't work on Sundays. Me and the OC would like draw play cards and make sure everything's like we're good on everything.
right,
We would kind of text each other back and forth throughout Sunday, and sometimes we would go. I would go over to his house and we would watch freaking football and talk football.
right.
We would sometimes game plan in his freaking house.
Yeah, which is that's not bad either. And I'm
Oh
not
no,
saying like what I've done in my career has been negative. Like I've enjoyed it. Like sometimes Saturday could be a little bit of a kick in the sack if it's a late night. But when you get there Saturday, the old routine was we'd watch the previous night's film, we would grade it, the kids come in, do their stuff, we would talk to them a little bit about last night, send them home, and then we start breaking down next opponent by. But as the season goes on, you've already started to break down when you get film on Wednesday, or what I mean. Like we got
that's been the nice thing the last few years. Y'all get film Wednesday from the next opponent.
well here they do the pool, so like through
How
huddle,
is that, by the way?
it's
Do you
actually kind
like
of
it?
cool. I don't mind it now. Once the pool thing works to where it's like you don't get to see everybody's stuff until you submit stuff. You know what I mean on huddle. So like once Peaster puts stuff into the pool, now we can go grab other people's pool. But everybody just puts their film into the pool. Now I don't know how many they're supposed to. Like say at the end of the year, if like everybody's stuff is supposed to be in there or whatever the case may be. But I,
You own it, right? If you
yeah,
take
like
that film down, that's yours. No one else can share that film out.
yeah, it's just like it's like doing an exchange in a way. Like so instead of us having to do like all right, Wednesday's our exchange day, it's just everybody puts it in the pool and then we'll go take Boyd and Pilot Point and Brock and Paradise and all those teams that are in our district, and we just add them to our library. And now they're in our library. It's like doing an exchange on Huddle.
But you can't like share that film out with anyone else, right? So like say Jim Ned calls Trevor and say, "Hey, can y'all send us y'all's Brock film or any scout film on Brock you have?"
We could.
Oh, you could.
It's just like
See,
so like when you
we
go to Huddle like
yes.
other
Yeah, I know
traditional
what
and
you're
you can
talking about.
exchange and you
Yeah.
get the film and it's your copy. The
Mhm.
pool is the same thing.
Huh, that's interesting. But
Except
you can
it's
see
just
everyone's, right?
yeah, it's just everybody puts it into like a pool.
Wow.
Like
That's
literally like, hey,
yeah.
here's all of Brock's films, and you get to go pull what you want from
See,
it.
we Ottalu proposed that during our football meeting, and I
Yeah,
think everyone shot that shit down.
yeah. I don't know how our district handle. I just know
I
that they
mean,
do. Like I don't know if that's
it's
what they like or not, but it's
we shot it
nice.
down, and well, I can see the benefit of it, but I can also see like, and I'll be if I know a person, I'm gonna text them say, hey, can you send us this film?
But yeah, that's
Hey,
kind
can
of
you
like the
send
thing
us
about
this film?
the thing about the pool. Like, all right, everybody just throws their film in there because like nowadays with a lot
You're
of
getting
people
their
that
film
know a lot of
anyway.
people, you're getting their film anyway. So it doesn't matter like whether you go behind the scenes and do it or hey, we're just gonna supply it. Here's our film. Do what you need to do to try to beat us. If
Well,
not, then good luck. You know what I mean? Like,
and I tell you right now, like Stanton, our we got their week one film.
Yeah,
Why?
absolutely.
Because Ozona had it, and I texted Ozona and say, "Hey, can y'all send us Stanton for me?"
That's how it is. Like there's
I
everybody
mean,
people
and
everybody on
and
your
I
staff has connections and connections,
yes,
connections, and you can get stuff.
I get made fun of, and because our one of our young coaches in Ruston goes, "Oh, Johnny Worldwide here, freaking knowing everybody." And I finally told one of our young, I said, "Dude, I've been at 5 schools in 10 years,
Yeah.
and
You
I talk to people."
you build connections. You know
Yeah,
people
it's
that know people.
networks. It's networking,
Absolutely.
man. And those
Absolutely.
networks, if you want film, I can probably find a way to get you fucking film from somebody.
Absolutely. So, I don't know. I think the pool kind of solves, the pool is just what everybody does through regular exchanges anyway. It's just it's all out there now instead of having to go through the
Right.
back door, have channeling and all that stuff. But
And again, if you got the right people, you can get everyone's freaking film you want. Like you said, it's going to happen.
yeah, absolutely. Especially if it's like, say for example, if we didn't have the pool and we wanted to get film on a school like Brock, well, I'm pretty sure that everybody on our like the people on our staff with the connections they have and all this kind of stuff, da da da, that we'd be able to get it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Somehow, some way. So,
Oh, it's like 10 days ago, like Denver City, they gave us everything on live. They had on Littlefield and Abernathy,
yeah.
and we sent them everything we had on Brownfield and Slayton.
Yeah, and then sometimes like that, it's just like a two-way street. You scratch my back, I'll scratch your back type stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yep.
I used to do that in soccer too. Like when I was a head coach of soccer in Sealy, and we had huddle and film and
Exchange
stuff.
film.
Yeah. Now
Huh.
we wouldn't. Now, let me rephrase that. Exchange film, but it wasn't necessarily like, hey, I'm going to reach out to a district opponent in soccer and say, hey, let's switch films. That didn't necessarily was. It was more of like if I knew people that played people in our district, and it's kind of like what you just said, like you know, through the connections I made in the soccer world down there in Sealy, like if like school A had played school in our district, I'll be like, hey, can I get that film? Because I got the film of a team that's in your district type stuff.
Oh yeah, just
You
send
know
it
what I
our
mean?
way. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just that kind of. So that's what usually happened in soccer. It wasn't necessarily more of our district had to exchange soccer wise. It was more of like
I
connections,
bet.
sending stuff here and there, and blah blah blah.
I bet soccer film's a son of a bitch because it's kind of like basketball. Just because it's constant, you're constantly going,
Yeah.
and
So
it's like one big old clip, right? Basically.
yes, like two as two because two halves they stopped. But like I know for me, like I would watch it. Now I'll be honest, like as a coach, like soccer wise, like obviously it's like with the background I have with the sport of soccer, like I remember I can like we played a game last night. I know everything about the game. Like, all right, what we need to work on, what happened, all that kind of stuff. Like, I don't necessarily need to watch film again to see it. You know what I mean? So, um,
Right.
but I remember there was a couple times where I would sit the kids down and like, all right, we're gonna watch film, and it was just like we'd be an hour and a half into watching film, and it's like the first 15 minutes of the game. You know what I mean? All the stopping and starting 'cause it's not clips. You
Hmm.
can't just go through clips or go
Right. It's
through the
one
15
long
minutes.
clip, right? Again,
Yeah,
it's kind of like
one
basketball.
yeah one long. But now, if I could have went through and spliced it up, if I was more tech savvy with Huddle and did stuff in there, but most of the time I was
Hmm.
just like, the kids knew, I knew, all that stuff is. And sometimes you go to watch the film on other schools, and it's just like, maybe you've seen them before live or whatever, so it's just like the film was nice to have, but at the same time, like, it didn't really. Now other people took it a little bit more seriously with the film, and they would watch it, and break it down, and all that stuff. I was a little bit more savvy with it, so in terms of what I needed to know, I knew our teams what we could do and what we couldn't do, and all this kind of stuff. So we
Hmm.
had it, have it, whatnot. But obviously,
Oh,
football's a little bit of a
yeah.
different game.
Well, there's so much stop and start. It's a lot easier to watch film and break down film when the clips are 7 seconds,
Yeah,
eight
and
seconds.
and say a football game has 120 something clips. Well, you know that you can break it down into three
120.
phases.
That's funny.
Well,
120.
I'll just throw out a number. You know what I mean? 150.
Yeah, I know.
But you can break it down into three phases of the game, and the next
150.
thing you know, offense is 60 clips, defense is 60 clips, special teams is 10. You know what I mean? So
What? What? When you're at Sealy, what was y'all's? What was y'all's like? Most amount of clips you remember having to break down?
from an
Like,
opponent,
no, from just y'all. Did y'all ever go over 200 clips?
no, No, not that I remember. Maybe
150,
probably around there. Give or take.
150.
Yeah.
Our game was Slayton, which they're again a running football team like us. Clock's going for the most part, right?
Yeah.
Our game, I'm just kind of I can't remember off the top of my head. Our game was 123 clips, and
Okay.
probably I would say probably oh of those 123, 6, 50 of it is offense, 40 something is offense. I mean,
Yeah.
it's when you run the football, it short that game gets so short. You know,
Yeah. Absolutely.
Rob
I
was
don't.
telling us like when he was at Coronado, there were games with like Coach Parr, 250 easy, 250 clips of freaking film easily, 250 clips of film
That's crazy.
because both teams are air raid and they throw it all the freaking yard and the game lasts 5.5 hours
Yeah. Clock's always stopping.
and you want to shoot yourself in the kneecap.
Yeah. I don't.
I couldn't imagine working somewhere like that
Yeah.
where you throw the ball all the freaking time.
Can you move, please?
That away.
Get out of here. God.
That,
There's our special guest for tonight, everybody. There's
certain
Smokey.
Smokey asserting his dominance.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's my freaking
I'm the
camera.
king of this show. All that kind of stuff.
But yeah, man. So, did you watch any college football?
Yeah, absolutely. That was obviously
Oh,
what I was going to get into next here. Obviously, leading into week two
two,
week three of
three,
college
three.
football. Obviously, when you looked at the schedule beforehand, there
Awful,
wasn't, yeah, there
awful.
wasn't any matchups where you were like, oh my god, I have to watch this game. You know what I mean? There was no ranked opponents playing each other. It was a lot of now there was some,
Sneaky good game. Colorado
sneak.
State, Colorado.
Yes, definitely some sneaky good games.
Sneaky good game.
Yeah. Now there's a couple other games like that. There were some games I was surprised at. There's some teams that I'm starting to
Well,
take a
fuck,
little bit
Bama,
notice in. Yeah.
Alabama struggling like they did.
Yeah.
Shit.
So Bama's struggling, which is something that we haven't seen in a long time. Like, and it's not just, and a lot of people want to point to the quarterback, but it's not just the quarterback
It's
issue
just
there in
their
Tuscaloosa.
roster is like
Their offensive line doesn't look good. I don't think they really truly have
good,
any dynamic playmakers.
good.
Um,
Keep it that way. Saban,
yeah.
I hope you don't figure it out in like 5 weeks, 6 weeks.
I think right
'Cause
now, like, and I'm not gonna say this 'cause I know you're an A&M fan, but like if A&M and Alabama play this weekend, I think A&M beats them easy.
I think they're a little. I'm not saying they're just a little more dynamic. Hell, they may get beat this weekend by Ole Miss
I know. That's what I'm
because
saying. Like
freaking
A&M's offense
Kiffin.
now, Alabama's defense is still pretty solid, but I think
Yes,
A&M's offense has more juice to it right now. That where A&M would be able to score more points than Alabama would against the A&M
freaking
defense.
ha- Kiffin, dude. Kiffin may have a freaking heyday this weekend,
He may. He
dude.
may.
Big fan of the Lane Train.
Yeah, I'm
Big
a
fan.
I'm a Kiffin fan too. I like
Big
how he
fan.
operates now. I like how he got them going, whatever. But some other games around college football last weekend. Georgia got off to a little bit of a slow start against South Carolina, which credit to the Gamecocks. They came out swinging
Hmm.
and gave them their best punch, and then eventually Georgia woke up and kind of won by 10. Michigan kind of easily went through Bowling Green as I'm looking down the list here. I watched the Florida State College excuse me, I watched the Florida State Boston College game, and at one point when Florida State I think went up 31-10, and I was just like, all right, here it goes, blowout. And then next thing you know, they got a couple of
How
stops, they got a fumble return for a touchdown, and they were right back into the ball game.
so we make fun of Tech for getting their butt kicked by Wyoming.
Yes,
They hung with Texas.
yeah. So
The
we went,
freaking in Austin.
yeah. So we
In
watched that
freaking
game.
Austin.
So I was with some other
Big
coaches. We
fan,
watched that
by the
game.
way. Big fan of Wyoming
Yes.
keeping up with Texas.
Oh, watching that game,
Big
like,
fan.
um, I was kind of going into that game. I was like, all right, I'm gonna really be able to tell from this game how truly either good of a loss that was for Tech or bad of a loss. Like, because if Texas would have went in there and absolutely steamrolled Wyoming, then it's a
Well,
bad loss for Tech. You know what
it
I mean?
was it was what it was 10-7 going to the third. Now
Yeah,
Texas kind of opened it up late in the
right.
fourth, but for 3 quarters, the freaking Cowboys of Wyoming
Yeah, they were
they were
running the.
they
They
were
were
they
able
were
to run the
tied.
ball. Yeah,
They
they
were
were able to.
tied.
What the one of the most impressive thing watching that game was that the Cowboys were able to easily run the ball against the Texas front seven.
Let's see which another one.
Uh,
Penn
but
State, Illinois. Didn't watch that one.
yeah, I'm looking through here like another. Okay, so here's a positive one, but a team that's
Ooh.
scary good is Washington right now.
Oh yeah. Who
They
they
are
beat?
they
Michigan
beat
State.
41-7. Their
Mm-hmm.
quarterback, what's how do you pronounce his name? Something Phoenix, Michael
Mm-hmm.
Phoenix Jr. He is freaking torching.
Oh, Michael Penix.
Yeah,
Penix.
Penix, yeah,
Penix.
not Phoenix.
Yes.
No. He is torching people right now.
Mm-hmm.
They are putting up video game numbers. So it's going to be interesting to see as they starting to get into conference play how that plays out. Um, Another game that I was disappointed in, because I actually picked them to win and they asked lost, was Tennessee going into the swamp and
Oh,
just getting playing like
big fan.
absolute doo doo.
Big fan of Tennessee getting beat. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about Tennessee fans. I cannot stand Tennessee fans. Like my interaction with Tennessee fans, we've only played. Adam's only played them twice. I've won both games. But my interaction with Tennessee fans, like they're one of those teams, those fan bases. Like we don't play them very much, but if they get beat, it's a good day.
Right.
I don't know what it is. You know, I don't know what it is about Tennessee fans, but
Yeah, they're
super happy. Did you see punch get thrown? Punches got thrown at the end of that
yeah,
freaking
I heard.
game.
I didn't see it. I know there was a
Oh,
skirmish. I know several players got suspended. It got out of hand, but
oh, it
for the
was. Oh,
for the volunteers, like that's just I'm sure that was just a buildup of pent up of frustration of just how bad they played, and I don't know if maybe it feels a bad day or what, or they got bad juju in the swamp. I know it's been like 20 years since last time they won in the swamp,
mm-hmm.
but their current quarterback situation, like they are definitely missing. Was it Hooker?
Yes.
Their quarterback goes
Hendon
here. They are
Hooker.
definitely missing his presence.
Tra-
Because
is it Travis Hunter?
I don't think Florida's a
Etienne?
good team this year. They
Trevor?
got Milton.
No, no,
Well,
no. Who's Etienne for the Jags? Is it Travis Etienne? Etienne
Trevor.
that played for Clemson.
I think it's Trevor.
Trevor, his brother Travis is playing at Florida.
Yeah, he balled out.
They could not freaking tackle him.
No, he ate their lunch. It says, yeah. Oh, excuse
Big
me. Travis is the older one. Trevor's the younger one.
Trevor's the younger one. Big
Trevor ran
fan.
for 172 yards and a touchdown
Yep,
against Volunteers.
big
Big night
fan.
for him. He's a good player.
Missouri upsetting K State.
Yeah, that was a big one. Another one too. That when you look at it, because I remember when they played Florida State, they looked terrible in the second half. But LSU is not
Oh,
bad.
rolling
Yes,
Mississippi State.
I think
So
if they would
how
have put a, I think if they put a complete game together against Florida State, they beat them easily.
well freaking then how good is Florida State then if they did that to LSU?
Yeah, but if you go back and watch the LSU Florida State game, and I
hmm
remember like I don't know if you watched it beginning, I
I
did,
did.
but LSU had opportunity. They had at least 3 or 4 opportunities in the first half to blow that game wide open
Yep.
with
And they pissed it away.
red zone possessions, with possibly getting turnovers to put them in red zone position because there was at least 2 or 3 times, once for sure, 2 times where they easily could have had turnovers inside the red zone to give them a short
hmm
field against Florida State because Florida State was all over the place, and then they missed those opportunities. Florida State got a
Well,
little bit get a little hot in the second half, and LSU just faltered.
Florida State couldn't block. They struggled blocking LSU's front. LSU struggled blocking Florida State's couple defensive ends,
Yes,
which were causing.
and and DBU over there at LSU had a tough time guarding the Giants out of FSU with
Ye-
their receivers, Wilson and
So,
the Coleman guy.
so I want to just and I've listened to podcast. Um, I miss uh what head coach at Duke. Freaking a
David, what,
no, no, that's the old one.
Mike Elko.
Um, yes, I miss Mayoko.
He is doing a
Bad
fantastic
coach.
job at Duke.
I miss Mike Elko.
He is doing a
I'm
fantastic job at
hey,
Duke.
I miss him
I bet you do.
As the DC for A&M.
I
I
bet you
miss
do.
him so bad.
He's a
I
lot
miss
better
him.
than DJ Durkin,
Oh
in my
my
opinion.
gosh. Oh my gosh.
He's
I
and
never had to worry about. Oh my gosh.
yeah,
Yes.
but
Mike
to see
Elko,
him,
big fan. Go Blue Devils.
yeah,
I
to
would
see
root for
what he has
freaking
done in the year and and change that he's done to turn that program around, like
big
it's
fan.
been big fan and for him
Oh,
doing a
excuse
great
me.
job at Duke, and of course I'm sure everybody has caught wind of what's happening at Michigan State. If we had to put our opinions out there, on the record and
Elko.
stuff.
Elko, Michigan State? Question
Yeah,
mark.
yeah. It could be he's one of the people that have been,
They'll
thrown
hire a
into
freaking
those.
offensive guy. They'll hire an offensive guy because it's college football.
I know, but they're gonna be wanting somebody that's a good character and stuff like that. But that whole ordeal, not to get sidetracked, I don't know how much you read into it all. Um,
I just saw they let him go, or they're in the process of
they're in the
firing
process of
him.
letting them go, and I don't want to dive too much into it on this podcast. I'm sure we could. Um, I don't feel, and this is my personal opinion, I don't feel what we're being told
It's the
is
whole truth.
is the whole truth, and I think
Hmm.
he's somewhat being um,
Set up.
set up in a way to where Michigan State doesn't have to pay him his 78 million or whatever it is. So
So they're doing to him what Tech did to Leach.
yes,
That's
basically
bullshit. Pay
that's
the
and
man.
again that's just
Pay the man Tech.
yeah
Pay his
from
family.
yeah, absolutely pay him. God rest his soul, Mike Leach, R.I.P. But the whole Michigan State thing, I just obviously it's my opinion.
Yes.
I just think he's being
Agreed.
railroaded to a degree and all that kind of stuff. But hopefully we'll see how it works out. Whatnot. But it's
I
just a terrible
see,
situation for him.
and I don't know about you. Obviously, I have my team. I'm an A&M fan. You're a Miami fan, right?
Yep.
But
Go
in
Canes.
college football, I tend to root for coaches I like.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mike Yoko, freaking Dabo. I like Harbaugh.
I like
You
Harbaugh.
know I like Dave Aranda at Baylor.
He's not bad.
I like Sonny Dykes at TCU.
Yeah, that's like I
Yeah.
like I don't really I like I'm a big Nick Saban fan, but
Hmm.
I don't like Alabama when he went.
Who's the guy at Wisconsin now? He was at Cincinnati.
Luke
Um,
Fickle,
Fickle. I don't mind Fickle,
I don't mind him. I
but
don't mind I don't mind Kirby Smart. I like Kirby
I'm
Smart.
a I'm like a seek. I don't know what it is, dude. Ever since I was a kid, like if there's a Big Ten team I root for, it's Wisconsin, and
They're
I don't
because
know
they're
why.
they're
I don't
usually
know
really
why.
solid. Like
I
the
don't know
gold.
why.
Oh God, I can't think of his name. The old head coach that was there, they just got rid of to put
Oh,
Fickle.
forever. Not Bielema, the older
Uh,
guy, right?
yeah. Oh my
The one
God.
that kind of got them rolling
Well, it was the guy
originally.
that came. It was the guy that came after Brett Bielema got it going, and he just took it and just kept it going. Oh my gosh, what was his name?
Anyway, but
Yeah,
yes,
bug me.
I'm a big. I don't know. Again, I don't know what it is, but if there's a Big Ten game on,
Yeah,
I find myself rooting for Wisconsin,
yeah.
Michigan.
I
I
feel
don't.
like they always play
I
like
don't root
old
for
school
Ohio.
football.
I do not root for Ohio State.
No, I hate
I will
Ohio.
not root. I would not root for Ohio State.
One of
You
their
know,
national championship wins needs to come with an asterisk to it.
ghost call. It's a
Yeah,
ghost call.
yeah,
Ghost call.
stolen national title from the Canes, but we'll digress.
Um,
Oh,
when Leach was at RFP, but when Leach was at Washington State, I rooted for Washington
I
State.
liked any team that he coached. Like when
Agreed.
he went to Mississippi State, I wanted the Bulldogs to do well.
I agreed. All but one game.
Of course, A&M.
I would root for Leach all but one game.
Absolutely.
You know. I'm a freaking. I hate Texas. Not a big fan of Stark. I think he's doing a good job. Not a fan of him though.
Yeah,
You
I
know.
agree.
I hope LSU just like falls off the face of the earth, but that's beside the point too. But you know, PJ Fleck, big fan. I like watching PJ Fleck. I would root
Uh,
for PJ. Row the boat.
yeah, it's not a bad little moment.
row,
Oh,
row the
also
boat.
to put this little inside statement there, it was Paul Christ, the guy that used to be,
Okay,
or Paul
Paul
Christ,
Chris.
however you say it.
Chris, I think.
He's Wisconsin. He was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, going down
Um,
like colleges, like I had
Florida
someone like I
State, I
don't.
root for.
Yeah,
I
fuck
root
him.
for.
I don't like. I don't like Florida State. I don't fuck. They can all fuck off. Like I don't mind James Franklin at Penn State. I think he's doing a good job up
I don't.
there.
That's
Um,
another one I'll root for. I like James
yeah,
Franklin.
I like Marcus Freeman. I know he's kind of young into the game at Notre Dame, but I think he's. I like what he's doing up
I
there.
Nope. I would not. I don't care if Notre Dame could be playing the Taliban. I root for the freaking Taliban. I fucking hate Notre Dame.
I agree. I agree. But I'm going through the list here of
I
who is
will
ranked
not
where.
root. I will not. I will root against Notre Dame.
I
It's
don't
kind of
like
like the.
Brian Kelly.
It's kind of like the Cowboys.
Yeah. Oh,
Brian
for
Kelly.
sure.
Oh, Brian Kelly's a straight douchebag.
Yeah, absolutely.
Chip is
I
fun.
love Kane. I love Lane Kiffin.
Chip
Um,
Kelly.
Chip Kelly's not a bad one. I like him. I like Mac Brown. I know it's Texas guy, but I think he's like one of those old school guys that
Oh yes,
he's
I
not.
like
I know
Mac.
Jack's probably going to hate me because he knows a former Texas guy, but I like Mike Brown. Um,
Um,
the one coach that's starting to kind
Lincoln.
of grow on me a little bit. I wasn't necessarily a fan of his because of all the fair and how everything went out, but they're actually going out there and getting results and all that stuff. But Dion is starting to grow on me a little bit.
Um, I've never liked Dion, even when he was coaching that Cedar Hill or that what is it, the Trinity,
Yeah, the Trinity Christian
that
School, or
tap
whatever.
school he had in
Yeah,
Dallas. I I could care less about now.
yeah, he's starting to grow on
What
me with some of the stuff, but we'll see how it
results?
goes. Yeah,
He's a winner. He
absolutely,
wins everywhere
absolutely.
he's been. They've won.
Absolutely.
You
So,
know,
speaking of college football, we continue on the trend because it's way more exciting than anything else going on. We'll get to NFL here, and we'll finish off with some NFL talk.
Florida State,
So
Clemson.
as we get into Week 4, we went from a weekend of not very exciting games, except Colorado and Colorado State, which was very good. This
Sneaky good
week,
game.
I'm going to call them out, and we can talk about it if you want. But this weekend, we have Florida State and Clemson. We have Colorado and Oregon, Utah, UCLA, Ole Miss, and Alabama. Oregon State, Washington State. These are just all the teams that are playing ranked opponents this week. Penn
Arkansas,
State,
LSU.
Iowa. Yes,
Arkansas,
Arkansas, LSU.
LSU. Oh,
Uh,
Oregon State, Washington State.
and then we got some other ones later. We got some more of those Pac-12
Oh,
at night.
Ohio
So
State, Notre Dame.
Ohio State and Notre Dame. Yep, yep.
Yep.
Scrolled over that one. So a lot of
Uh,
big ranked
where? Hold
matches
up.
this week.
Where are they playing that at?
They're playing
Notre
in
Dame.
Notre Dame.
Okay, I hope a sinkhole develops around Notre Dame Stadium and both teams just like disappear.
Notre Dame, Ohio State is
Fuck.
a 3-point favorite. It looks like 15 for Texas.
Oh.
So
Here's the
check
thing.
this out. So like Georgia plays. Oh, that's they play
Who are they playing? Who's Georgia playing, by the way?
UAB.
UAB. Oh, that's their Children of the Blind school.
LSU is a 17.5 point favorite over Arkansas.
I believe that.
Alabama's 6.5 point favorite over Ole Miss. I'll take that. I'll take Ole Miss.
6.5. Where's
Yeah,
it at? Oh, it's in. Okay,
in Bama.
It's in Tuscaloosa. That's usually you get about a touchdown at home
Yeah,
in college
I'm
football.
taking Lane Kiffin. I think they take it. I don't think.
So, okay, you're taking the point. Oh yeah, I would take the points too.
Yeah, I'm taking Ole Miss there. Let's go through all the big games this week, and let's look at the line and see where we go. Right. This is not a big game, but Miami's got Temple this week, so hopefully Miami beats that ass. Who does A&M have this week?
They have Auburn. Auburn in. I think I want to say it's in College Station this week. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Here, I'll look for you.
I think that's right. I know it's Auburn.
Yeah, and it's in College
So
Station. A&M is
here's
7.5 point favorite.
here's the thing, though. Here's the thing, Josh. I think in all 10 meetings, or maybe the majority of the meetings between A&M and Auburn, the road team has won.
Mm. It's always interesting when that stuff happens.
And I
Uh,
don't know what it is. I
Yeah,
don't know why the fuck
yeah.
we don't
It's
play
just one of those
Auburn with
things.
a shit at home.
It's just one of those things that happens sometimes. It's just
Mm-hmm.
crazy how it works out. All right, Florida State, Clemson. They're playing in Death Valley. Florida State is 2.5 points favorite.
Knowles.
I
I'll,
don't know. That line is so close.
I will give you the 2. I'll be
That's a
happy
close
to give
line.
you the 2.
If
I don't think Clemson's that good.
I don't think so either, but if for some reason if it starts to click, uh, that could be a really good ball
I
game.
Yeah,
Because
chance of rain.
I think Clemson still has a pretty good defense. Um, whatnot. That should be Florida State on paper should win, in my opinion.
Yeah,
All right. Oh, this game's going to be so good. I can't wait to watch this one. At 2:30, Colorado and Oregon. Oregon is 21.5 points favorite. Give me the Buffaloes. Give me the Buffaloes
in Eugene,
in Eugene. Give me the Buffaloes.
no Travis Hunter. That's
Still,
gonna be big. That's gonna be
it
big.
is going to be big,
No
but
Travis Hunter.
his son at quarterback has been putting up some good numbers. I think they got good pieces around. I think it's
Oh,
going to be I think it's going to be a good shootout type game. I don't think it's going to be some low scoring game.
did you see that Instagram video of Shador with Dion and Tom Brady?
Mm.
And
Was it
Dion,
from what from his son said about Brady like going Brady mode and stuff?
no, Dion goes, Tom, let me ask you this. Do you think a college kid needs to have a Rolls Royce? And Shador's like, whoa, it's not a Phantom, it's a whatever it is. And Brady goes, I think his ass needs to be in the freaking film room instead of that damn car.
Ooh,
And Dion goes, preach it, Brady, preach it.
I agree. I agree. I agree. You know, a lot of people love Brady to get sidetracked, but Brady was the type of guy that he never cared about the flash and
Nope,
money and all that stuff. He was always worried about
winning.
winning.
I don't, dude. Okay, this is the best roster Colorado's played, will play, probably, or has played up to this date. I don't know, 21 though. Gosh, Dion, get some ready, dude.
I know, and again,
Three touchdowns.
every time a coach from the school they're about to play has come out and said something, they've made them look bad. And Oregon is the next in line. Oregon's coach said something about Colorado.
So you're giving Dion 3 tutties.
Yep, I'm saying it's gonna be. Yeah, I'm taking the Buffalo.
Now, I think Oregon will win, but it's going to be like,
I don't think they're gonna win by 3 touchdowns.
48-41.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be one of those ball games.
I agree.
It's a one possession game. Colorado has a chance to win in the fourth, one possession, and Oregon makes a play.
Yep, I agree. Now, if
Gosh,
it's the opposite side of the coin where Oregon State, Oregon blows them out, then maybe that's the real Colorado we'll see. I don't know, but I don't think they're going to be 21 points. I think it's going to be a good game. It's going to be closer than the 21.
But up until this point, Dion's been on it. He's been getting those kids ready to play.
I agree.
So all you can go off of is all the data you have is these first 3 weeks, and these first 3 weeks tell us Dion gets his team ready to play.
He gets them ready to play. Don't bet against them at the moment. They're 3 for 3. We'll see if they can make it 4 for 4 this week. All right.
I'm with you though. I'll take Colorado in the. You give me 21, I'll take it.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, if this was old Colorado, then obviously you would take Oregon. But new Colorado, I'm taking them against the 21-point spread. UCLA, Utah playing in Utah.
Utah
is 4.5 points favorite.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's going to be another sneaky good game too at 2:30 in the afternoon.
You think?
I think so. I think Chip Kelly. I think they got them. I think they got it going. I think Utah wins overall. I think Utah's a better team, but I think that's going to be a good game too. I wouldn't be surprised if UCLA wins, if that makes sense. But I'm going to take Utah to cover. Alabama, Ole Miss 6.5. Already told you I'm taking Ole Miss. I'm on the lane train. Let's go.
Is that 2:30?
It is also at 2:30.
Yes, game.
It is also at 2:30. Be flipping back
Okay.
and forth.
So, well, again, fingers crossed here. UTTV I get the 4 boxes. Hopefully,
Both of them are on
like
there. That would
I
be
I,
the weekend.
I hope Colorado, Bama. I
So
really could
here's
care
so
less about the
here's
Utah
hopefully
game.
like cross your
Colorado, Bama.
fingers, cross your fingers that these are the games on your TV. Colorado, Oregon, UCLA, Utah, Ole Miss, Alabama. They're all at 2:30.
Yes, that
Sign
would
me
be
up.
awesome.
Let's go.
But they always throw some like Coastal Carolina.
Yeah, some random game in there.
Yes, like two random games from small conferences in there, which don't hate.
Right.
But I'm telling you, the only thing I wish YouTube TV could do is you could pick the four you want to watch.
That would be the next advancement for them to be able to do that.
That would be awesome. But I'll take the four games at the same time.
Yes,
Big
I
fan,
agree.
big fan of that YouTube TV.
Yeah, absolutely. Next one here.
Duke,
Shoot. Well, Duke plays
UConn,
UConn at
21 and a
21 and a half.
half.
I think they probably beat them by more.
I think
Uh,
so.
Tennessee over UTSA, University of Texas San Antonio. Tennessee's 21 and a half point favorite,
Oh,
21 point favorite.
I that's another guy I will root for is
Trailer.
Trailer at
Yeah, he's
UTSA.
a good guy.
Big Trailer fan. I would root for Tech because Joey McGuire.
I agree.
Anyway, sorry. Texas high school football coaches.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're all that good stuff. LSU, Arkansas. LSU a 17 and a half point favorite
In,
over
in,
Arkansas in
in
in Baton Rouge.
night game in Baton Rouge.
Night game in Baton Rouge.
Dude, LSU very rarely gets beat at night at home. Especially Arkansas. I don't.
Yeah, but 17 and a half points. Does that make you? Are you confident in
No.
LSU enough, or I think it's
Yes.
closer than that. I don't think they cover. I don't think they
I
covered.
again the other guy I root for is Sam Pittman.
I agree.
Got
Yes,
got
and
root for that
If
line
Jack was
coach.
here too, he would agree.
Line
If Jack was here,
coach.
he would agree.
Got root for that line
Yeah.
coach.
Oh, speaking of, I'm so sorry. Speaking of our homeboy Jack and Cobbs, last week, backtracking a little bit, the Terrell Tigers went and played a really, really good state ranked team, and the Lovejoy Leopards came out on the losing end. But from all accounts told, the Tigers battled and competed, and it was a lot closer than games in the past. So, shout out to the Terrell Tigers. They have another tough test this week as they got to travel to Melissa to take on the Redbirds, who are the number one team in the state, 5A D1, maybe D2. I can't remember. But that's gonna be a great game for them. It's gonna be a tough opponent, but get those kids out there ready, prepared, and battle. That's all you can ask for. But continuing on here, shout out to Jack, shout out to Cobbs. We miss you boys tonight, but we know you guys are doing great things. Oregon State, Washington State. Oregon State is a 3-point favorite. I'll take it.
In Pullman.
I'll take it. I think DJ
Ugalele.
Ugalala. I think he's in the right spot, the right system, comfortable, out of the limelight.
I've seen like two Oregon State games. Like I just like again I do the four.
Yeah.
And Oregon State for some reason has always been one of those games. It's always with a game I want to watch.
Yeah. And
so I end up watching a freaking Oregon State game.
Yeah, and they're pretty good. I'm kind of surprised when I first saw that they're ranked 14th. I kind of forgot how they did last year. And DJ's not putting up video game numbers, but he's solid. He's out of the limelight somewhat compared to being at Clemson, and it looks like he's more happier playing football. If that makes sense. So
that's good.
Shout out to them. They got a good game at their night game, if you will. Maybe it's still going to be daytime over there in Eugene. Not Eugene, but Pullman. But all right, from there we're going to skip Florida because they can fuck off. Georgia's got UAB.
We can skip that one. I don't.
Yeah, they'll probably cover that one. Texas
if Georgia doesn't cover UAB, there's a problem somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. They should.
Big fan.
I don't think
big fan
like
of this line. Big fan.
Texas in Baylor.
15?
Texas 15-point favorite. Is Baylor good enough this year to make it a game? Does Texas show up to play it like Alabama game, or do they show up and play it like the beginning of the Wyoming game?
In Waco.
Texas
roster's better, but I don't know, man. I think Texas wins, but Texas historically the last few years under Stark, hell, the last few years under the last 10 years,
Yes.
Texas has dropped a game they had no business dropping.
Yep. I agree. Which I also kind of feel like it could come later in conference to maybe somebody like Baylor or somebody like Kansas or maybe even Tech.
Oh, I
But I thought
hope
the
so.
Wyoming game would have been that game for them, especially when you watch the beginning of it. It looked like that would have been their uh, what's the term I'm looking for? Their letdown game after the big win about
Oh, it's
Bama.
their
But
trap. It's a track game.
right, but I think they
Come,
rebound. I think they rebound. I think they beat Baylor. Do they
I
do they
hope
cover the
not.
spread? I don't know. It
15. It's
depends.
15 though, man.
Yeah, I think it's
You're giving
a little
15.
over 2 touchdowns. I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe I'll take them at 15. I hate to say that, but I don't think Baylor is that good this year.
I don't think so either. But again, just I think, and my dad has always said, he's always talked about like a team like last week with Texas and in Wyoming. Texas had to play so hard to beat Bama
Right.
that to get up for that game to go beat Bama in Bama, you're going to have a letdown,
Right.
you know. And so at 15, I hope Baylor does it. I do, because I've been telling. There's a couple of kids in my class that are Texas fans, and they wear that dumb burnt orange everywhere.
Yeah, the ugly ass one.
Yeah, I don't know how you burn orange though. That's how dumb those guys are at Austin. But anyway, um, freaking, I've been telling them, said Texas drops a game. They drop a game every year. Once once a year they'll drop a game they have no business dropping.
Yep.
Now is it Baylor this year? I don't think so. I think it's going to be like, I don't know. Who would it be though in the Big 12 that would beat them? Like
I'm calling my
UCF
shot right now. Texas Tech.
You-
Let's go. I'm calling it
in Austin though?
in Austin. Let's go in Austin.
I'm
Texas
about
Tech.
it. I mean, I'm a let's go Joey. Let's go Joey McGuire, man. Crap.
Go Joey. That's gonna be the
Um
game
I would love for Kansas to beat Texas just for the memes.
again.
Big fan. Again, yeah, again, exactly. Big fan of K State.
Yeah. K State,
I
man. They're
Where do they
pretty
play K
solid.
State out this year? Are they in Austin or is it at in Manhattan?
1 second. In Austin.
In Austin, shit.
So here's their schedule at the moment. So they play at Baylor. They play at home against Kansas. The Red River rivalry. I guess the Sooners. Then they play in Houston at home against BYU. So they have already started that stuff for Big 12 Wise. At home against K State, at TCU, at Iowa State, and then at home against Tech.
Okay, that's not too bad.
Not bad at all. We'll see how it goes. I'm still holding my shot. Tech's going to get them. Be the spoiler for them, if you will, especially if they're undefeated to that point. All right, next game is
Hey,
going to be
real
a.
quick, sorry,
Go ahead.
sorry. I just want to mention this too.
Okay.
Next year, Texas' first year in the SEC, right?
Yes. Yeah.
They play Michigan at Michigan.
Ooh.
They play Florida at home, Georgia at home.
Ooh.
Yep. So they got the number.
Currently.
Let's see,
So
number one and two.
yeah,
The
one,
number
two.
one and two.
Who's the other one?
Uh, Florida
Who currently is 20.
20 something 25th. You know, who's the other one? That's really it. They have their Vandy game, but yeah, they have to go to Ann Arbor, and they get Florida at home and Georgia at home.
Mm, that stuff.
But
I
they got to
can't wait
go.
for all that stuff to come out for like
They
Oklahoma
get
and Texas to have to go through all that stuff.
they
Woo, boy.
they got to come to Kyle Field, baby.
Let's go. That's gonna be good to get that rivalry back on. But speaking of
I
rivalries, if
sorry,
you
go
will,
on.
no, you're good. There's a nice little transition there. Speaking of rivalries, two teams we probably don't have much care for, and like you said earlier, that a sinkhole in engulfs both of them. At 6:30, we have Ohio State, Notre Dame. Ohio State 3-point favorites. I think that Notre Dame is going to beat them, and I don't like either team, but I think Notre Dame's going to beat them in Notre Dame
Who-
in South Bend.
my thing is like, who do I dislike the least, the most? What's the least? Like
Well, you already
if
know I'm going to say like Ohio State. So I don't
if if both schools are on fire, I'm not peeing on them to put them out. Let's
no
just say that.
no nope. Just going to watch them burn. But
Yep.
in this case, if I had to pick one over the other, the lesser of two evils, I'm going the Fighting Irish over the Buckeyes.
Uh,
That's my pick.
I don't hate that. I don't hate it. I think part of like why I don't like Notre Dame was because of freaking um,
Kelly.
Brian Kelly. Brian
Yeah.
Kelly is probably a big reason why I didn't like Notre Dame.
That's what I'm saying. Like I like Marcus Freeman, their head coach now that used to be at
Mhm.
DC. Like so, I still don't like Notre Dame, but I like him. So that's why I'm going to side with him. But I also think they got a good team. I think they got a good quarterback, Sam Hartman. I think he's a better
Yes.
quarterback than what Ohio State has. I think Ohio State has better weapons. Uh, but I think Notre Dame are going to
See,
be able to.
we were, and I know we brought this up in this podcast before. We were talking about that in the office today. Look at all those like weapons and receivers Ohio State's put in the league.
Yeah,
Like Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to go in the first round probably.
absolutely.
Okay,
They're recently been wide receiver U recently.
their quarterback play has been shit awful in the league.
The jury's still out on CJ because he's still new into it. But when you
Yeah,
look at the
but
other ones, like Justin
historically,
Field, yeah, hell, you can go back to the guy that won the Heisman for him. He didn't even make it the league. They had Burrow, but then Burrow went to LSU and did great things. Uh, they used to have Terrell Pryor, who got into the league, but then converted into like a receiver. Uh, who else? The kid that was from Abilene, not Abilene, from Wichita.
Wichita.
Yeah, he was from like Ryder or something like that.
Not Stroud.
No, I can't.
Yeah, great podcasting material right here.
Yeah, it was every week. It's like this week. It's sort of like
As,
It was a kid from Texas that was a quarterback at Ohio State when they. I don't think it's when they won it, but he was around that time, maybe
no,
back.
no idea.
Because it was CJ. Okay, so let's go backwards. It's CJ. It was CJ, and then it was Justin Fields.
Is it Burnett or Bar?
Yes.
Is Ben's the B?
Yes,
Um,
it was like Burnett or something like that. AJ Burnett? No, that's.
no.
Now you're gonna maybe have to go Google it.
I got it right here. I got it right here. I got it right.
Because he came after like Terrell Pryor. He was after that. I want to say he was after like Cardell Jones and those guys that won it with Urban. When
Oh,
Urban was
that's
there.
there.
Burnett's
Who is this? Top back 07. Hold, getting there. Okay, Terrell Pryor was 10. Joe Bruceman was 11. Braxton Miller was 12.
okay. That sounds familiar.
Braxton Miller was 13. TJ Barrett.
TJ Barrett, that's the guy. There he is. I knew.
He's from Wichita Falls.
Yeah, I could have swore he came from like
Cardell
Falls or-
Cardell Jones.
Yep, he was. Yep, he was the one that.
TJ
basically
Barrett
won.
again in 2016. So those two like went back and forth.
Well, I think the TJ Barrett thing, like, I think he got hurt or something, and that's where Cardell came and had that little magic run through the playoffs when they won.
Dwayne Haskins was 18.
Oh, yeah, Dwayne. Yeah, forget
Justin
about
Fields,
RIP.
19. Oh, that's right. I forgot he freaking
Yeah,
died.
so JT Barrett, he went to Ryder.
I went to Ryder.
Ryder, yeah.
I did not know that.
Yep, he is a host at Ohio State, and he's currently an assistant quarterbacks coach for the Lions.
Oh, nice. Good for him.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yep. So anyway, so that's a little bit of going down Ohio State history that I didn't think that we would, but we did. But like you said, they've had some big name quarterbacks come through that haven't necessarily produced at the major level. I think Fields could. I just don't think right now. Talking about NFL, I just think their offense is not built around towards it. I think they're trying to fit a circle into a square peg or whatever.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I
So I don't think it's working out. But
I just I don't know, man.
yeah, I don't know. I could be wrong in terms of overall the guys that they put in the league skill wise, offensively. How many of them have actually, of course, Elliott and some of those guys, but some of them are still so young into their career that the jury's still out. But continuing on
Right.
here, Penn State, Ohio, Iowa, right? Also 6:30 at night. Penn State 15.5 point favorite. I don't really know how good Iowa is. I know Penn State's pretty solid. I know they got a pretty good quarterback. Are they
I
15 points better than Iowa? I have no idea.
I
So
think Iowa's been able to score this year, which is the first time you can say that in a long time.
yeah, I agree.
And so, but Iowa's going to be there again. They're one of those. They're the classic, boring Big Ten team that doesn't beat themselves.
Yeah, for the most part,
Well
yep.
coached.
Yeah, discipline,
They discipline. They don't beat themselves,
right?
and they just go execute. They just go out execute you.
I think that'll be a pretty good thing. I probably won't watch that one, but it's pretty good. I might watch if I stay up late enough. I might watch USC. I don't. I like Lincoln Riley and what he does offensively.
I did too. He's
I might
fun.
even watch Washington play and see if they beat up on Ocala. But
Pac-12 after dark.
yeah, it should be good there. So we got some very tasty matchups in college. Looking to the professional realm, if we will, quickly going through what
How'd you?
transpired on
Sorry.
Sunday. But go ahead,
How'd you do fantasy football this week?
2-0. No, I mean
There you
2-0,
go.
baby. Let's
That
go.
way. Freaking, I scored the fourth most points this week. I scored 122 points and got beat. I
So,
got beat by the guy who scored the most points this week.
oh, it always works out
That's
that way,
that's
right?
always that's
Always
always
works
freaking
out that way.
frustrating.
So
That's so frustrating.
in the league I'm in with like Jack and Blake and all them, like the points are skewed towards offensive guys, like are predominantly quarterbacks and receivers. So like when some of those guys go off, like the numbers are like I
Stupid.
scored 254 last week. Um, but it really helped off. Like here's how our point system kind of works off for our guys, especially quarterback. So Cousins went on Thursday night and played and balled out. He had 364, 4 touchdowns. Well, he scored me 65 points. Yep, that's how our league is.
Dang, Blake.
Like
Okay.
Mac
Okay,
Jones.
Blake.
Yeah,
Okay, Blake.
yep.
Damn, dude.
Mac Jones went for 231, a touchdown to pick, 42 points.
What the
He
crap?
probably also had his rushing yards and all that stuff too. But it's just the point skew. It's all a little bit dynamic. But I have a
Right. I got
pretty
you.
solid team. Losing Barkley for a couple weeks with his ankle hurts a bit. But overall, I think I'm pretty solid. But not bad to start off 2-0. We'll see how this current week goes. I'm projected to win again, but you just never know.
I
You
I
never
need
know. So,
I need the Bears to figure out Roshan Johnson, the rookie, is their best running back and start playing him more. That's all I ask from the Bears. Just figure out the rookie's your best freaking running back and start
yeah.
playing him a lot more.
So the
Because
one thing,
I picked him up last week to stash him.
right?
And again, Chicago, get on your shit. Realize what you have in Roshan Johnson. Play him.
I agree. I was kind of upset today when the waiver stuff came through, like because I really wanted to get Brian Robinson Jr. from the Redskins because he's tearing it up for. I mean, not the Redskins, the Commanders, because he's tearing it up for them.
Oh, it's the freaking Redskins. Just
Especially,
pay it. It's the fucking Redskins.
especially since what really made me upset because I have his teammate. I had his teammate. I had Antonio Gibson, and Gibson hasn't done nothing. And somebody beat me to Robinson. That made me salty today. But
Okay, Rams fan, I'm gonna ask you this:
come on,
what the fuck's going on with Cam Akers? I know
I
McVay
don't have
shipped
no
it.
idea. I know
He
they traded
shipped
him
his ass
today.
away, but
They
what the
finally traded
fuck
him.
was going on?
I have no idea. It was something that because even last year was the same thing. Like I don't know if he's like I don't know if he's causing. I've never been able to
Like
find
him and
any.
McVay just
I
like
guess
oil
so.
and water. They cannot get
I
along.
shoot, I don't know, man. Like I never was able to find any articles. Now I didn't search too hard, but was never really able to find any articles about what transpired. They were always so vague about stuff and kept it hush hush, if you know all that kind of typical cliche things. But
Mm-hmm.
it looked like at one point they were going to do it last year, and then it kind of looked like they mended their fences and he came back into the fold, and then this year he started against the Seahawks, and then I don't know if there's issues outside of football that needed to one of those things where it's just like, hey, let's just cut ties. You go find a new spot, and we'll go on about our business. I think that's what eventually happened, but I don't know, man. But I know the guy they got now is not bad, Williams, that they're running back. But
What you think Zach Evans will find his way on the field?
I don't
That
know.
rookie from Ole Miss.
Yeah, I don't know. I know he was a talent out of high school. Didn't really do much college, but we'll see. I don't
Big
know. It'll be curious to see what happens.
well, how I love our waiver system in my league because you get $1,000 for the year
Mhm.
and you basically bid on free agents. And once the waiver goes through, you can pick guys up for free.
Yeah.
But the initial waiver is you have to put a bid in.
Hey, so look at
Big
this for
fan,
great.
big
Look at this
big
for
fan,
great podcasting. I've got to
big fan of
quickly.
that.
Yeah, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but speaking of really great podcasting, I got to go let the dog out because he's been crying for the last 15 minutes, and I really don't want him to
And
relieve himself. So I'll be right back. You just talk.
all right. So yes, big fan of the whole free agent topic. Let's look at. I'm gonna see some scores. The we have. Sorry guys, I apologize. The when you're doing two-man crew, this it's kind of hard to bounce off this, so we'll be fine. This is just me rambling right now. So week 2 of the NFL. Week 2 of the NFL. Freaking Eagles.
All right, you hold it down.
You
Let's
know,
go.
oh, yeah. It was the most awkward 10, 10 seconds of our podcast.
Yeah, well, freaking, of course, Scooby, like most inconvenient times that he wants to go out and do stuff.
Go
But
relieve himself.
yeah, even though he was out earlier. But anyways, looking at last week NFL, um, obviously it all started on Thursday with the Eagles beating the Vikings. I
Big
thought,
fan of that
yeah,
game.
yeah, that was really entertaining game.
Freaking oh, dude. I have Alexander Madison, that running back, the starting run for back for the Vikings. And between you and me and all 5 people who listen to this thing, I put a bid in for Cam Akers. So
Mm,
I'm hopefully I get his ass.
right.
So I have the Minnesota backfield.
There you go.
I don't know how good or bad that's going to be because
Right.
Alexander Madison has done shit all this year
Yeah, I
so
know he.
far. In 2 weeks, he has not performed, and he's gotten carries. That's the frustrating thing.
Right. Well, don't worry. At least I got cousin producing right now. So.
The only saving grace is I drafted McCaffrey, and he's playing the fucking G men this week.
Oh,
So
he's fucking.
I need McCaffrey to
He
basically he's gonna be my running back 1 and 2 this week.
he ate the Rams shit.
Oh, I'm big fan of Christian McCaffrey. Big fan.
Yeah,
Big fan.
it really was frustrating this weekend as we switched to 49ers and the Rams. Obviously the Rams are a lot better franchise than they were last year, but it is
Mhm.
now 9 times in a row that they've lost for the 49ers, and this was a game that I felt like they probably could have finally ended the streak. A couple of late
Mhm.
turnovers by Matthew Stafford led to their demise. But at least they didn't get blown out, so that was a good positive part.
Yeah.
But the 49ers, I think they're just a better team overall anyway. But
Oh, I think NFC is going to be Cowboys Niners in the NFC
I
Championship
agree.
game
I agree. But
again.
yeah, I agree, and hopefully we'll see how it goes. But speed run here through kind of Falcons beat the
Falcons.
Packers 25-24.
B
Surprised by that. The Bills
Bijan's a
beat
dude.
Bijan's a
Bijan's a
dude.
dude.
Jordan Love had a little bit of a letdown game compared to last week. Buffalo went out and destroyed
Good
Raiders. Okay,
good
so
game for
good
Josh Allen. Little
bounce
bounce
back.
back.
Yep, I had a feeling that they would bounce back.
How,
Ravens and
how
Bang. Go ahead.
how about Joey B getting paid that money and has not performed?
I think it's the typical big contract curse to a degree.
Agreed.
Um,
Agreed.
but I
Big
also
still
think too, it's weird. Like obviously he was hurt, so I don't and he's hurt again. So I don't think he was 100% healthy to begin the year, and it just doesn't feel like they have the same dynamicness, if you will, that they had the last couple of years. Like they're
Yeah,
starting off really, really slow.
had they lost their OC? Did they
No,
lose their
still
OC this year?
their head coach is the
Same
OC,
guy.
I think. Yeah,
What the fuck?
it just feels Zach Taylor is his name. It
Yeah,
just feels real different. Like they just feel real slow and like not very good. Like Jamar Chase
but
hasn't done nothing.
right.
Joe Mixon hasn't done nothing.
Joe Burrow. I think Joe Burrow's good enough. Once he kind of gets healthy, he's gonna be that dude again.
Yeah, I think they'll once they get out of their little rut, because sometimes teams they get into a rut at the beginning of the year and then they click and they just go off. But
The only
uh,
bad thing, they just dropped a division game.
that's true.
You know what the good thing is? The Steelers are shit awful.
It was
Oh,
rough.
they're
Okay,
bad.
so before I know we're gonna get there eventually, but watching the Monday night games,
Oh,
awful. Both games, awful.
yeah.
Overall, awful.
The Panthers Saints was a better game to watch to me.
I watched.
What I do miss was the Manning cast.
Yes, it was really weird. Like ESPN had both channels for
You know
the
why?
Carolina Panthers and Saints.
You know why they had 2 minute games? Because of we're talking about this in the office. It's because of the Screen Actors Guild strike.
Ah,
ABC is it ABC?
yeah.
Yeah, ABC doesn't have anything to put on television on Mondays, and so the Mouse owns ABC. So go, oh, we'll go 2 Monday night games to make up for that.
No, I get that, but I'm just saying like ESPN and ESPN2 both had the same game time.
They did
Yes.
really.
Yeah, from what I looked up, because I tried to flip back and
I
forth to see if the Manning cast was going, and literally ESPN and ESPN2 both had Panthers and Saints same broadcast.
It's weird. Again, I did the double screen
Yeah,
on mine, and I usually like mute my TV and listen to music. Because like if it's not the Manning cast, I hardly ever listen to announcers
yeah.
just because they just annoy me.
I don't
Except
mind listening
Romo,
to.
I don't mind Romo.
I
I
don't
do
mind
not mind
Romo.
Romo.
I don't mind Aikman. I grew up a big Aikman fan, so like I don't mind
Uh,
listening to Troy Aikman.
Herbstreit's not bad.
Herbstreit's not
Herbstreit
bad.
does Herbie does a good job,
Herbie does
but
a good job.
everyone else is like, it's so. I'd rather just listen to my music and watch
Yeah,
football.
yeah, absolutely. So, anyways, with
Uh,
that, and
Seahawks.
that was one of the more entertaining games of Sunday
Uh,
was the Seahawks and Lions. I was really rooting for the Lions to pull it off,
same.
but unfortunately they came up a bit short. Shout out to your Titans though. Let's go.
1-1.
Roll Titans if they go there at home and they beat up
Tannehill
on the
actually
Giants.
looks like
A quarterback?
no. Tannehill actually looks semi competent,
Ooh,
just semi competent.
man. And look what it
Semi.
did. They beat the Chargers in overtime. Imagine if he was a real quarterback, what they could do.
Oh, for real. Here's the scary thing though. Derrick Henry, 25 carries, 80 yards.
Dude,
Dude, it's I
not really.
think the tread is starting to wear down on the tires for old King
Is their
Henry.
offensive line any good though?
They're
Since they don't
rebuilding
have
it.
since they don't have
The kid they drafted from
Taylor?
Northwestern, Sanducci,
Yeah.
he was out.
Mm,
They have him at guard, but he was out last week, so that didn't help.
right.
But they're rebuilding, they're retooling it.
I got
I like him. I like
yeah.
that guy they drafted. He just, I mean, like I
Yeah, I
said,
agree with the Derrick Henry stuff because they all have a show life in the NFL, and
always
he's been their
he's been the
battering
bell
ram.
cow.
Yeah, for it's eventually gonna
Well,
wear on him.
they're starting to play that kid from Tulane a little more too.
Yeah, I think it needs
Like
to get to the point now where they need to start spelling him. Like I think he's still got juice in the tank, but he's not to the point where you can give him
well,
30 carries a game all year and expect him to produce like he had.
that's the NFL now. It's if you don't have it's a two back system now.
Right,
Unless you have a stud like Bijan or Saquon or I'm trying to think, even McCaffrey they spell with like Debo.
right.
But I think McVay does a good job of getting different guys the ball in different ways instead of going I formation right at
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, yeah. I think this is how the game has changed. We've talked about it before, but it'll be interesting to see how it progresses with Henry and all that kind of stuff. Because
Yeah, I
he's
agree.
gonna be he's like your old school. Like if Derrick Henry was a back
20 years
15,
ago.
15, 20 years ago, he'd be
Oh
the
yeah,
dude. I mean, he's the dude now, but he would be the dude just based on his characteristics and physical being. But uh,
he's 29, so he's
he's getting there. Imagine playing that dude in high school.
he's 3 years younger than me.
I know.
Think about that.
That's crazy. Imagine playing him in high school. Trying to
Oh,
tackle his ass
six
in high school.
6'3", 240 in
Yeah.
high school.
And can
No
run.
sir,
Yeah.
no sir, no sir.
Let me just dive at your feet here and try to clip.
Uh,
Next, we got Buccaneers and Bears. The Bucks are kind of surprising everybody. I know they played the Bears, but Mr. Mayfield is kind of righting the ship down there, if you will, for those Bucks down there in old Tampa, off to a 2-0 start. A little surprise there. Coming
Mike
after
Evans,
the Mike
big
Evans still
fan.
got a little bit of juice coming out of the
Still doing
Tom
his
Brady
thing.
era. Little
Mike Evans still
interesting.
doing his
Yeah,
thing.
Mike Evans still doing kind of interesting there.
Chiefs. That
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 I
game
don't
was a
know.
lot closer than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, and I don't like looking at the score and kind of watching it throughout the day. Like I didn't get to see much of it, but I don't know if it was a game of like ugly offense or great defense or a mixture of both.
It's probably a little bit of both. I mean,
But I'm surprised Chiefs got all their weapons back. They scored 17. I was kind of hoping the Jags would put up a little bit more of a better effort. I'm not saying that they put a forward effort in, but
dang, I didn't realize that. So I'm looking at the next game.
no, you're
Colts,
good.
Texans.
Yeah, that's the other game too. As we go on from the Chiefs and then Colts over the
I
Texans 31-20. Anthony
C-
Richardson got knocked out with a possible concussion. Before that, he was actually doing pretty
CJ
well.
Stroud went for 384 and 2 tutties.
Hey, I'm telling you, and I'm not telling you, I haven't said
Dude.
nothing yet. But so far this year for CJ, he hasn't been terrible.
Well,
He's
he
probably
has to
been the
throw.
best rookie quarterback.
He has to throw the ball because they're going to be behind
to.
because Houston's not very good.
Yeah, but I'm saying he hasn't been okay. So when you compare Richardson has actually been a lot better than I thought he would be. But compared to Bryce Young, been
And
better so far.
Jack said in our group text, Bryce Young looks so small.
He does. You see, he
Next to
lined up
those
behind the wrong person.
Yes,
You
I
see
did.
that?
And the running back is going like,
Yeah.
hey,
Hey, one more over. One more
hey,
over.
Rook, you go that way a little bit.
Yeah, I think he'll. Not saying that he's going to be a bust in terms of Bryce. I think he'll figure it out. But I think CJ's. I thought CJ was a better quarterback.
So, just a funny coincidence. I say funny coincidence. Our assistant superintendents he's our commissioner for our league. Week 1, Aaron Rodgers, Achilles.
Mm-hmm.
Week 2, Anthony Richardson, concussion. we were joking. He has the kiss of death. He's playing Geno Smith this week too at quarterback.
Oh, imagine
and Rustin's a Seahawks fan.
Yeah.
And he said in the office, well, Gio, good. It was nice knowing you.
How ironic would that
freaking kiss? We said, Lebetter, you got the kiss of death. Who's the starting quarterback on your roster? Because they're about to get hurt.
Yeah, well, hope not. Hope not. Continuing on here, the Giants come back and beat the Cardinals. Apparently, the Cardinals back-to-back weeks of holding leads and just letting them slip through their fingers.
I had the Giants defense in this one on fantasy. Mm-hmm. I'm going, okay, playing the Cardinals. Cardinals aren't very good. I'm watching the game, and they give it 21. Boom, boom, boom. I'm thinking, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Then the Giants decided to go play.
Yeah, absolutely. And then
you skipped one. The Whammies.
Oh, we talked about them earlier.
Oh yeah, the Niners.
That's the first game I talked about. Yeah. Had a chance to win, didn't. Turnovers at the end of the game. 49ers closed it up.
How about this one? Who's Nuka? 15 targets.
He was another guy trying to get fantasy, but somebody already grabbed it. But apparently he's
37 targets in 2 games.
Yep. Apparently he's built up a really good chemistry with Stafford already. Sure hands.
So what happens when Cup gets back? What happens when Cup gets back?
You got another weapon to throw at. because
He's
right
not.
now I don't think he's. I think he's an outside guy. And Cup's obviously an inside guy. So, um, it
Is Puka
probably
kind of playing the
obviously
cup role?
that's
Is Puka kind of
Tutu.
playing
No,
Cooper
that
Cup type
the
role?
Cooper Cup role is going to Tutu
At
Atwell.
will. Okay.
Yeah, that's where he's been at. I think the Puku has been on the outside.
Okay.
Um, so it's been encouraging. It's been out of the blue to see that. He's done really, really well. So shout out to him. Obviously, when Cooper Cup comes back in a couple of weeks, I think obviously the offense will then run through Cooper Cup. But I still think he has provided enough of a threat that if people start to try to take away Cooper, now you got to worry about Puku. I
Hmm.
mean, so now they got to kind of pick their poison, if you will. So as long as the Rams can get their run game going, everything opens up for them and their type of offense. So we'll see.
Right.
The Cowboys, okay, Poro Pinche Cowboys. I know the Jets aren't that good of a team, especially since they don't have Rodgers, but they're still a pretty solid team. But the Cowboys were able to uh, get that dub, and Dak actually
Oh,
didn't look that bad.
only thing I was happy about the Cowboy game, and I texted y'all. You know, Parsons needed to calm the fuck down so they could throw it to Garrett Wilson.
Yeah. And they
And he
did one
got
time.
one. He
He
got
got
one. He
one. He
got
got one
tutty.
bomb. He got one bomb. He beat the
I,
guy in man coming across the field. Yep.
he's so Garrett Wilson's good, man. He's still good.
Yep. And guess where he
It's
went to school?
just God dang, just give him a chance.
Yep.
Catch the ball. I think
Unfortunately,
that's.
you know where he
I
went to
think
school?
Ohio State.
Ohio State.
I think that may help. I say help with the Jets is like because I think they're going to be so bad without Rodgers,
Yeah.
they're going to be have to throw the ball, and
Well, he
Garrett
had a great
Wilson's
year.
their dude.
Wilson had a great rookie year
He's
last year.
freaking rookie of the year last year with multiple
So,
quarterbacks.
I think him and Wilson, the other Wilson, have a pretty good chemistry with each other. So I
I
don't.
think so.
I think
Well,
he'll be their guy.
there's a few times in the Cowboys game he misses Garrett Wilson two or three different times.
Yeah.
He either overthrows him, underthrows him, or throws a pick.
Yeah. Well,
Where
we all know what type of quarterback Wilson is. So.
right, but again, Micah Parsons, the Jets could not block Micah Parsons.
He's a
They
beast.
could not. They could not block Micah
That
Parsons.
that Dallas defense right now so far is pretty.
Who they have?
Oh,
Yes, and so
what do they
good
have?
job, Dallas. Prescott looked, dude.
Prescott looked like a quarterback he wasn't.
My,
Had a
my fantasy, I have Tua and I have Dak, and I'm 2 for 2 for picking the wrong freaking quarterback of the week. I picked Dak week 1, Tua goes off.
yep.
I picked Tua week 2, and Tua has an okay game, not great, but okay.
Right.
And Dak has a pretty solid game.
Yep. Who's it going to be this week? The Cowboys have the Cardinals, and the Dolphins have I don't know
The Broncos. The Broncos aren't very good.
the Broncos, and that's the next team that we're going to. Shout out to the Commanders, starting off 2-0, looking good for Mister Riverboat Rivera over there. It came down to the wire. The Broncos made it an interesting game with a 50-yard, basically Hail Mary pass to give them an opportunity to go for two, and then they don't come up with it. I thought not like they're. I don't think the Broncos are as bad as they were last year.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's going to take a little bit of time for
Still,
Sean Payton to
still
get
don't
in
think they're
there,
very good.
But I don't. Yeah, I think overall I don't think they're a very good team, but we'll shall see. I think
Dolphins,
the Commanders,
Pats.
bet that was a pretty solid Sunday night football game.
Did you see the field goal block?
Well, yeah.
I
Did
think
that
everyone in freaking America saw that one.
did you see it on X or did you see it live? Because it was all over social media and now again, I will give credit due. It was a great play design. It was great execution. Obviously, a lot of film study went into that to get tendencies and
So
stuff like that. But
here's
it
thing.
blew up all over Twitter, and I
Here's thing.
guarantee it, you're going
How
to see
many
it.
people are going to try to do that? Now, in Texas, you can't do that. If you're going to go block it, you got to be in a 3-point stance.
3 or 4 point stand.
Right. But you can't do what they did and have that motion
Yeah.
or that running start, basically.
Oh,
But I was going to say,
you're definitely going to
how
see
many
it.
people are going to try that this week?
Yeah.
Try to block a field goal like that.
Oh, absolutely. It's a copycat league. Everybody, there's going to be people that are going to try it and try it and try it. And again, it's one of those things that it takes a lot of film study, it takes a little bit of luck, because there was one people, there's some people that are like, oh, kickers are creatures of habit and they got their timing and blah, blah, which is true. But now teams are going to be leery of that to allow like the cats out of the bag. So it's no longer a surprise.
Mm-hmm.
When I first saw that on TV, like when I saw it live, I thought it was the guy coming onto the field late and he just happened to
Oh, I
time it
did
up
too.
perfectly.
And you're thinking, oh, Bill's about to rip his ass when he gets out of there
Yeah.
if he doesn't make a freaking play.
Yeah. But of course, just like anything else that happens in sports nowadays, it blows up all over social media, and you got all the gurus out there like, "Oh my God, it's the greatest thing ever! Now all the people are going to do it." Blah 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 blah. And I was just like, "Yeah, it was a great thing, but just like anything else, it's going to be great for a while, and then people are going to figure out to stop it." You got snap count, all that kind of stuff. You got to technically time it up perfectly to be able to go. So, but it was cool. It was a cool little play. I'm glad the Dolphins were able to win. So fuck the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
Then of course, like we talked about Monday night, Saints Panthers, kind of a snooze fest. Same with the
Just
Steelers. I didn't even finish the Steelers Brown game. I don't even know what the score was when I went to bed. I was so tired, but I was like, this game's boring. And of course, wake up.
R.I.P. Nick Chubb.
Yes, Nick Chubb.
Dude, was it
Hopefully,
you or Cody that sent the video?
Cody.
Dude,
But
I didn't.
I've seen it. I've seen the
Oh,
video posted. If you haven't seen
mm.
it and you don't got a strong stomach, don't watch it. If you're into that stuff, I'm sure you'll be,
His knee is
whatever.
gone. Every ligament is gone.
Yeah. So the ironic thing about it, so of course, prayers to him. Hopefully, he can bounce back and recover to continue to
I,
play.
I don't. He
He's
may
had
be
the
freaking
same.
done.
He's had the same injury to the
Same knee,
same
right?
knee that he
In
had in college. Now,
Georgia.
if you go watch,
Hmm.
now I don't know if I still have the picture. I sent the picture to the group message. The exact same injury in terms of how it. Let's see if I'm not obviously we won't show it here on the podcast, but um, is like the same exact thing. Like, oh, when I saw it
That's
the
a.
other night,
Oof.
like when I finally saw it, I thought the same thing too. I'm just like everything, everything's gone.
Oh
Everything's
yeah.
gone.
I just you feel bad for the guy. And Nick Chubb again. He's probably one of the, and we were talking about this in the office. He's one of like the good guys in the NFL, like the
Yeah,
guys you'll root for because he's just a good person,
yeah,
you
good
know.
player, all that stuff.
And that happens. Yeah, you hate to see it, man. But unfortunately, that's part of the freaking game.
It is. It doesn't happen all the time, so don't let people be like, "Oh my gosh, see, that's what football does." It does not. That does not occur all the time. It's one of those
And when you can't
rare.
tackle high, you go low.
Yeah. So I just found the picture, and it. Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Yeah, just send it. So, want to go through these real quick this
Yep.
week's
Go ahead.
Giants Niners. Niners are 10.5.
Yeah. Give me the Niners. Come on, baby.
I'm with you. I'm playing McCaffrey in the freaking kicker for the Niners. I hope McCaffrey scores 80 points for me. Browns Titans. Cleveland is minus 3.5 in
Ooh,
Cleveland.
in Cleveland. Ooh. The Browns' defense is pretty good.
They are big Miles Garrett fan.
Yeah, I like Miles Garrett. That's gonna be. I feel like that's a toss up for me.
I do too. It's fuck. Again, if Tannehill was just competent, I would feel better
Yeah.
about this game, but he's not. I still think the
I feel
Browns
like
will.
in games like this, I always feel like it's gonna boil down to whoever has the best quarterback, and
The Browns right now have the better quarterback.
yeah, I think Watson's the better quarterback, so I'll take the Browns 3.5.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
Falcons Lions.
Ooh, come on,
The
give me Campbell
fighting
and the
the
Lions. Come
fighting
on,
Dan
baby,
Campbell.
let's
2-0
go.
the
Give
2-0
me,
Falcons.
give me go. They're 3-point favorites at home. Give me that.
Yep.
Give me
The
that.
fighting give me the fighting Dan Campbells.
Let's go. Give me the damn Campbell. Also,
Packers
go.
Packers Saints 2-point.
In Green
Green Bay's
Bay.
2-point favorite in Green Bay. Go Pack go.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Go Pack go.
Yeah, I agree. I'll take the
Broncos Dolphins
in
in
Miami.
Miami.
Give me
Give me the
Miami.
Dolphins.
6.5 point favorite. Give me the Dolphins. Let's go. Easy
Yep.
money. Let's go.
Chargers Vikings. It's a pick 'em
Yep,
in
even.
Minnesota.
Ooh, give me Vikings.
You think
Yep,
they're
I
both
think
0-2?
we're gonna get a shootout. Give me a
I think
shootout.
so too.
Give me
Yeah.
an NFL
I
style
just
shootout.
I
High
just want a
30s.
good game. I want a good game in that
Yep,
one.
I agree.
Jets Pats at MetLife.
Yep, in New York. Ooh.
New England's a 2.5 point favorite.
Yeah, I'll take New England.
It's just the quarterback plays so bad in them with the Jets.
Yeah, again, when it comes to this, I always take the better quarterback. I think Mac better.
Same. Bills Commanders.
Ooh, in
Buffalo's a 6.5 point favorite in Maryland, in
Yeah.
freaking Washington,
What's the name of their
in that shitty ass field.
What is? I don't think it's the name of their stadium.
Who are you taking?
6.5 points. I don't think they. I think they. I'm gonna pick the Commanders and say they.
Really? Okay, I can get that. Texas Jags. Jags are a 9.5 point favorite in Jacksonville.
Yeah, give me the Jags.
I think so too. Colts Ravens. Baltimore is a 7.5 point favorite in Baltimore.
If I don't think he's gonna play because of concussion, but if for some reason he does, if Richardson plays, I think it's a good game. I still think the Ravens win, but they don't cover. But if Richardson doesn't play, I think the Ravens cover.
Panther Seahawks in Seattle. Seattle's a 6 point favorite.
Yeah, give me Seahawks.
Same. Bears Chiefs at Arrowhead. Kansas City is a 12.5 point favorite.
Yep, I think this is the game where it all comes together for the Chiefs. It doesn't come together again for the Bears. Chiefs will cover easily.
You don't see that though in the NFL very much. Almost a 2 touchdown favorite.
Yep.
You very
look at the
rarely
next-
see that.
Yeah,
Oh, I
look at
see
the
it.
Next two games.
Dallas and Arizona. Dallas is a 12 point favorite in Arizona.
Jeez. Puro pinche Cowboys. They're going to cover
Yeah.
and then some. Come on, baby.
But the Cardinals are sneaky. They're a lot better than we thought. That
I
people
agree.
thought they were.
But they have blown the last two games. So.
Puro pinche Cowboys.
Puro pinche Cowboys. Come on, Dak.
Yeah. Steelers Raiders. Raiders are a 2.5 point favorite in Vegas.
In Vegas, Sunday Night Football, 2.5 points. I think they cover and then some because the Steelers look cut off.
They are shit awful.
Oh my God, this line. Oh, this is easy money. Give me this.
Eagles Bucks.
No, the other one.
Oh, Rams Bengals.
Give me this all day long.
Cincinnati's a 2.5 point favorite.
Give me the Rams all day long.
Really?
Give me the Rams on that one. If Joe Burrow doesn't play,
Joe Burrow may not play. That's true.
I don't think
I'll take the Rams.
I'll take the Rams.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be upset that they lost how they lost to the 49ers. They're going to come out whoop ass. Now, they are playing in Cincinnati, but I think they come out whoop ass, hopefully.
Then Eagles Bucks.
Yeah, give me the Eagles.
5.5 point or 5 point favorite in Philly in Tampa.
Yeah, give me the. I know the Buccaneers are playing really good. I know it's going to be Monday night, but Jalen Hurts and them boys are going to cover.
Yeah, give me Philly. Give me Philly.
I'm still stumped. I can't think the Washington Commanders, what their name of their stadium is.
Oh, it's FedEx Field.
That's right. I used to know all that.
It's a piece of shit stadium.
Yeah, old. It needs to be updated and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the grass, the turf is awful.
Maybe with the new ownership that they'll get new stuff, whatever. But there you goes, ladies and gentlemen. There you heard it first. The DBAB podcast from your boy Cletus and Kirton giving you our intakes of last week college football and NFL, and also giving you our picks for the current week coming. So if you're feeling lucky and you feel like you can trust us, take our pick to the bank, and you are welcome for either winning you a bunch of money or losing you a bunch of money. But we feel pretty confident with our picks. A lot of them are probably going to be in line with what everybody else says. Yes. But sometimes
we're very chalky on this podcast.
Very chalky. But there were some picks out there that we said that, if you put some money down, win some money. You know what I mean? Uh,
I will bet your money, Josh, all day.
let's go. Just like I would bet your money all day too, baby. Let's go. But again, Cletus, as always, it is a pleasure. It is an honor. It's crazy how no matter if there's just one of us on the show, two of us, or all five, how it always ends up
Hour
to be almost
hour
2 hours
and
of show.
45. Yeah,
Yeah.
freaking
But,
A.
at the same time too, like when you go look at the big shows, like I was listening to a podcast. Actually, shout out to the Kelsey brothers. I was listening to their podcast on the way to Abilene on Thursday.
Big
Great
fan, New
show, by the
Heights.
way. Great show. I don't know. I know they got people that probably do all their stuff for them, but they sound great. They have great topics they talk about. They have great chemistry. I know they're brothers, all that kind of good stuff. But great, great show. So shout out to the New Heights and to the Kelsey brothers. Totally forgot what I was about to say.
The
Anyways,
time.
oh yeah, the time. But like their show was, it's over an hour. But the Pat McAfee show, which I know is more than just a podcast now, but like
It's
their shows are
3.
3 hours. Now I
Joe
know they have,
Rogan is freaking. If he's talking to a good guest, Joe Rogan will go
yeah.
2.5, 3.
Yeah, so our podcast going almost 2 hours, I would say is not over the top. You know what I
By the
mean? Like
way, if you like Matt Rife, you know who he is, Matt Rife, the
his name sounds
comedian.
familiar. Yeah,
Comedian who's on Wild now. He's kind of blowing up a little bit
yeah.
on comedy scene. Him and Rogan just did a hour and a half, 2 hour podcast.
Hmm.
I'm kind of slowly listening to that right now,
Right. Yeah, I need to
but
start doing that in terms of like I know some people they listen to a part of a podcast on their way to work and then they'll pick it up, but I always like to listen to music, so it's hard for me to get a
that's
podcast in too.
that is that is me. I will listen to podcasts. Like I will listen to podcasts going to work, from work, going back home,
Right.
going to games. I will listen to if I'm driving. I
Yeah.
will 99% of the time I'm listening to podcasts.
Yeah, I try to do that every once in a while, but I like to listen to music too, so I try to balance back and forth.
Hmm.
All that stuff. But yeah, definitely. Like I said, shout out to the New Heights. Shout out to all those other podcasts. Pat McAfee show is a great one too, and Rogan, all them guys. But like I said, again, another great episode here, brought to you by the boys here at the DBAB Podcast. Remember, you can find our podcast anywhere podcasts can be found: Apple, Spotify, all the above, YouTube, Twitter. Again, we appreciate all of our listeners. Now, how we don't know how many of you are in total. Honestly, we know there's a few that are true loyalists that have been here since
All
day one. Route,
all five of y'all.
yeah, all five of the original day one OGs. So if this thing ever does blow up, we will always know where it started and be humble in that fact. But we're so thankful to be able to do this each and every week when we're able to just come up here and as us coaches, as buddies or friends, all that kind of stuff to get in here and talk about sports and kind of clear our minds, just have a great time and you all out there that listen and make it possible and enjoy what you hear. And hopefully, we were able to bring the juice tonight for you. Minus Jack, he is a figuratively big presence on the show with his bubbly personality. And of course, father figure now, Cobbs. Hopefully, all is well with you,
It's,
your
I know
missus
he's still
and the
alive
baby. Yep,
because
yep.
I know
And
he's
he's
still
still
alive because
alive.
I still keep seeing pictures of Kinsley and
Hmm.
Taylor and him. So
Yep.
I know he's
Also,
still breathing.
he's still breathing because he still replies in the group chat every once in a while, so he's still
I need
there. It's been a
I need
while
to
since
call,
we've heard from him, so
I need to call him,
hopefully,
see how he's doing.
yeah. So hopefully he hears this. He listens to the podcast and he lets us know. We want him to know that he's been missed, and also whenever he's ready to return to the show, he can bring his little beautiful daughter to be a special guest as well. She is always going to be welcome.
I may call him right now just to wake his ass up.
Yeah, I know. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, like we've said, thank you all. Remember to always be the light in this world. Go out there and do great things. Love each other, and all that good stuff. Peace and love, baby. It is it, the DBAB podcast.
Be the light.